Okay, we are going to jump into lesson 2 now. This is graphing and analyzing periodic functions. So we kind of discussed what a periodic function is, and now we're going to take a look at graphing some of them and then discovering some features on them and excuse me, and what we can kind of information we can get from those features. All right, and so that's kind of what analyzing is. Um, so we'll graph these, we'll analyze them, and then we'll get some practice going for you guys. So let's get started. So our example we're going to work on in this video is if you look at this, this is a bicycle pedal that goes around, right? We call it sprocket, right? And here's the crank and the pedal handle, and it says the pedals on a bicycle rotate as the bike is ridden. The height of the pedal above the ground is a function of time, as shown in the diagram. And that makes sense, right? If you think about it, is that the height of that pedal is going to vary along with how much time has gone by, where it is, right? So when it starts, it's up here, and then it kind of goes down, and as time goes on, it gets closer to the ground, and not much time. Granted, we're talking about a second. Then another half second later, it's already halfway up, and then after 2 seconds, it's made a full rotation. And so what we're going to do is we are going to complete this diagram here with the missing heights. And then we're going to figure out what's the period of the function. So remember, the period of the function is the length of time in which it makes one cycle, right? So let's play around with this and let's see what we get. So let's make our missing height first of all to complete the diagram is well, this is what we know. We know that the total top of the height here, and it says that this is 18 inches, and we know that it starts at 4 inches, right? Because it's 4 inches to this pedal and 18 inches to this pedal. So what I would want to know, besides changing this, is what's the height of the crank arm, right? Well, 18 minus 4 will tell us that. So it's 14 inches is the total height of this, right? Of what we're dealing with, right? And so if we're trying to get to the middle of that, um, the midpoint, right, between this, right? If this is 14 inches, half of that, right? 14 divided by 2 is 7. So 7 inches. So we would say 4 plus 7, right, is 11 inches. And the reason I'm adding 4 is because we're starting from here. So they want to know the height from the ground. So at 11 inches is where the midpoint of the pedal is, right? 18 is the top, 11 is the middle, and the bottom is 4, right? Because we determined that this is 14 inches, the full thing around, so half of that is 7, so that's the radius, and to get to that center, it would just be 4 plus 7, which is 11. So that diagram is now complete. The period of the function is going to be a total of 2 seconds, right? Because it's going to go down in height, right? And then it's going to kind of go back up, and then it's going to repeat. And even though we can't see the graph, we can tell that at this point, it's just going to do the exact same thing it did before, right? So every 2 seconds, it repeats whatever it's going to do. So the period of the function is 2 seconds, all right? And now when we make a table of our heights of the pedal at various times, just look at it. So at 0 seconds, right, we're up here, so we're at 18 seconds, we're at 18 inches, sorry, right? At a half second, we're at this halfway point that we figured out, so we're at 11 inches. At 1 second, we're at the lowest point, right, and that's 4 inches. And we'll come up with some terminology for these different features in not too long. At 1.5 seconds, we're already on our way back up, so we're at 11 again, and then at 2 seconds, we're back where we started. We're at 18. 2.5 seconds, well, at 2 seconds, we're here. So another half second, which is 2.5, is going to put us right here again. So that's at 11. And then at 3 seconds, that means we've done 1.5 rotations, right? So that'll put us at the bottom. So that puts us at 4 inches, right? So we got 18, 11, 4, 11, 18, 11, 4, and you can kind of see that, right? How that's going. So let's graph this thing. So at 0, we're at 18, right? So that's going to put us about here, okay? At 0.5, we're at 11, so that's going to put us about right here. At 1 second, we're at 4, so it puts us here. All right, and then at 1.5 seconds, we're back up at 11. All right, just a little bit above. And then at 3 seconds, or sorry, at 2 seconds, we're at 18. That's about right here. 2.5 seconds, we're at 11. Back here again. And then at 3 seconds, we're back at 4. So, and I think when we graph this, it's not going to be like straight lines down, right? If you think about it, it's going to it's going to stay a little steeper, and then it's going to start to go down more sharply as it goes towards that half second thing, right? And then it will start to chill out. So it's going to look probably something kind of like that. I'm going to come down a little bit, and then it's going to trough, and then boom, come up, right? It's going to go up, and then it's going to kind of do that, come back, and then we'll start to, right? And then it's going to continue to do the same thing, right? So this is our periodic function, right? This should probably be, honestly, more, a little more like that, but we'll, not a big deal, right? We're getting it kind of close here, right? So that's what we got. Um, and you'll see there's definitely some features of interest that we might want to know about. We might want to know about, like, what's the highest point of this, and we can see that from here. But what do we call that? What about the lowest point? And what other kinds of features are maybe important as far as analyzing this goes? All right, so we're going to leave this at that, and in the next video we'll start talking about some of that.